Welcome back to Fathericity. I am Jermaine, and I'm here today again with Charlie.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Wow. Episode number 2.
Yeah,
We're finally,
episode two.
yeah, we got together 2 times to do this. So that's awesome.
As you know, with everything else, fatherhood is hard. Podcasting is hard. Doing this remotely right now without being in the same place is hard. Please forgive our little hiccups as we navigate trying to get this thing up and going. But we will get it in tip top shape real soon.
Yeah, we for sure will. And man, how about you? My afternoon's been crazy. Like from the time I got off work, I come in, my son and my wife are cooking coconut shrimp. So he's helping her cook. She's freaking out about raw shrimp and everything all over the kitchen. My youngest son gets me to go lay down in the blanket fort that they made in under the bunk beds. And I pretty much just hung out till supper was ready, grabbed a few shrimp, and then jumped on here. So it's been a very interesting, busy afternoon since I got home from work.
Oh well, mine was a little easier because we pick up little man from daycare. Got him a little early because we went by his grandparents' house to drop some stuff off, and he was spoiled at grandparents' house. Got popsicles and soda, and he likes to eat bread over there, just a slice of bread.
Yeah,
And then
no,
from
that's
time to
good.
time,
Yep.
he rolls it into a ball, gets a bread ball, eats bread balls, and yeah, and then wanted to come home and then eat more stuff and watch YouTube videos until dinner was done. So now he's sitting in the living room on his mom's lap watching YouTube. So yeah, my
Yeah.
mom was easy. I cooked dinner for the most part. My wife chopped up some veggies and I put it all together, made something. She over seasoned it just a little bit,
Come
just a
on,
little
man.
bit.
Come on. You can't say that
her,
on the podcast.
her words, her words.
Her words,
Maybe a
but
little too
you
salty,
overseasoned it just a little bit.
a little too saucy, but
Okay. As long
it
as
was
they're
good.
not
I
your
ate the whole
words.
thing. So
As long as they're not your words, you're
yeah, ate
good.
the whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah,
She said
so
them first, so I just agreed.
I got you. I got you. But yeah, thinking about like what I did when I got home today makes me think about years ago when I didn't have kids, like what an afternoon after work would be like. And this is going to seem, I don't know, this may hit home for some people, it may not. But I think I was probably a better employee before I had kids because I know I could definitely pay attention to more and like stay later and get stuff done that I can't now or I don't because I come home to be with the kids and the family. It's man, it's just such a lifestyle change. It's crazy.
Yeah, lifestyle change. It is that uh, I basically changed careers because of my son. Um, and I said it. I'm a teacher. I think I mentioned that in the last episode. Uh, but no, once Trendon was born, and my wife and I had a long conversation, and I basically said, I'm not gonna direct plays anymore. They take too much time. You spend so much time after school working with other kids, doing things, getting a show off the ground. 6 to 8 weeks, usually 2 to 3 months, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday. Um, yeah, once trending came around, I was like, I've got to be that 3:45 out the door guy now. I can't stick around and wait till 5:36, 8 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays to hang out with other people's kids. I've got my own son to deal with. So it definitely changed the way I even approached work at that point because I 3:45. If I leave the school after 4 o'clock and I didn't schedule it weeks in advance so my wife could know, so we could figure out daycare and all that. If I didn't figure that out weeks in advance, it wasn't happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just work. Think about it. But it's everything about your life changes, or most of the time it does. I mean, there are guys out there that that don't get to spend a lot of time with their kids, either because they have a job or where they have to work off so much. And I mean, it's got to be tough on those guys. I couldn't. I have to work out of town some, and I have a lot of long days to where I leave before everybody gets up and maybe come in after bedtime. But for the most part, I get to see them and talk to them and kind of play with them every day. So I can imagine what it would be like for those guys that have to be away from them all the time.
Yeah, my brother does that actually. I don't know what he does. Uh, I know he's in the Fort Worth area. That's where he lives with his family, and he works doing something somewhere similar to what you do, I think. But he does it in West Virginia, and he's literally like 2 to 3 weeks on in West Virginia, and then he gets like a week, 10 days off, flies back to Texas, spends it with family, and then before he gets back on the airplane and jets back, to the East Coast to do it all over again. So yeah, I know there's like he missed Thanksgiving. I know that. I know I'm sure he's missed holidays in the past, things of that nature. I could not imagine living without seeing my wife and kids. Now, granted, I'm sure he struggles with it just as much. Honestly, it's kind of weird in this sense. I've never really discussed it with him before. I think this conversation we're having right now made me think, oh crap, he never,
Yeah.
he went, 3 weeks at a time without seeing his daughter. She's a college student now. I mean, she just started college, graduated in May. But, the last few years of her high school career, she saw her dad 1 week in a month, basically.
Well, I mean, think about it.
And
There's a lot of jobs like that though, like military. In military, you never know when they're coming home. And I mean,
mhm.
I don't know, just the way the economy is, a lot of us to make decent money have to travel and go work off. That's just kind of the economics of the way it is. We live in a small town, and to make the kind of money I make, or people like that, you can't stay here and do it. I was very fortunate to be
No,
able to find a good paying career. Like I said, I mean, it's been 15 years coming, but a good paying career to where you actually get to see the benefits of that, and it's okay. I mean, you're a high school teacher. I work in road construction, but I'm also we homeschool. So my wife stays home with the kids, so we're a single income family, and that's it. Just I can make decent money, and it doesn't feel like it.
yeah. Well, my wife and I are both teachers, and our son's in daycare. There's a local daycare literally just down the street from us. And I will tell you this, um, it's expensive. And at the same time, it is probably the cheapest expense we have.
Right.
Uh, cost versus what you get for your money. Uh, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, if we were not teachers, I don't know the kind of life we'd have. That work life balance, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna complain about the work life balance I have. Monday through Friday, it's always Monday through Friday. Every once in a blue moon, I have to work a Saturday doing something. Every once in a blue moon, I stay after school for like an hour to work with some kids, but I schedule that ahead of time with my wife, so she knows what's up. Um, no weekends. Like I said, I talked to you just a minute ago before we started, and another week and a half Christmas break. That's 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks of just being at home.
Right.
So summer's off. And I granted that goes with the pay and stuff, but people always like teachers get summers off. We do trainings and stuff, but like I get a lot of time at the house, and I'm not going to complain about that from my perspective.
Well, I
Other
mean, it doesn't
teachers,
doesn't everybody
other
yap
people in
about
the profession,
teachers getting summers off, and uh you get paid all that, but don't they basically take your pay for the time you teach and just stretch it out over the summer so you're getting that money year round? Isn't it?
oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
So I like to liken myself to an NBA player, and that every year I sign a contract. Every year they offer me a contract, and the contract's for whatever amount of money they decide to pay me for the year. But like you said, the reason why I get summers off isn't because it's a great vacation. No, I don't get paid. Teachers, especially in Texas, we don't get paid for the summer months. What we do is we take our contracted time of work, which is 10 months from September to May. That's our time. That's our time. September to May, basically, August to May.
Right. That's where you're earning money and you just spread it
Yeah, that's where
out
we're earning money.
over the
We
whole year.
divide that not by 10 months, but by 12. So I could make even more money during the school year, but when the summer came, I would get zero.
Yeah, but that would mean you have to be
So I
really good with
spread
your
my
money.
summer money out throughout the year. So it works out my benefit the where teachers don't have to work in the summer.
Right. Well, and
We ain't figured that part out.
I got you. I got you. But what's crazy is, I mean, and I don't know if you've run into it yet or not, but like I'll come home or I'll go to leave in the morning to go to work or something like that. And my kids will say something like, Daddy, do you have to go to work? Or Daddy, can you stay and play with us? Or something like
Mm.
that. And man, it'll break your heart because yes, I have to go to work. I have something I have to do. That's part of teaching them responsibilities and letting them see that. But at the same time, you feel like you're telling them that this is a priority over you when in actuality it's just I'm doing this for you.
Yeah. The few times, for example, I went to work. Uh, I do some UAL stuff on the side, so academics. So I go with kids and we compete in the smart kid stuff. Uh, and I left one Saturday morning. I left the house at 5 o'clock. Now, granted, let me explain how we do our day most mornings. My wife and I get ready for work. We work in the same school district. We work literally next door to each other in terms of buildings. Our son's daycare is down the street. We get ready every morning, get our son up, get him ready for daycare, drop him off, and go to work every
Wait,
day.
wait, wait.
And
So
then,
y'all get ready and then get him ready?
yeah, he's asleep still.
Oh, why don't you wake him up while y'all are trying to get ready?
Well, he wakes up on his own sometimes. And the good news is, I'm a dude, I'm a guy. I can get dressed, shower, shave, brush my teeth, all that stuff, and dressed in like 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
It takes my wife a whole lot longer. So usually what happens is he wakes up, my wife's out of the shower, she's putting on her makeup, he's playing with her brushes, he's in her foundation and mascara and all this. And I'm just looking there like, you should have woke up 30 minutes earlier and you wouldn't have to deal with this.
Yeah,
But
she does not want to hear
usually, but yeah, but anyway, we get all that stuff done. So he sees me. We all see each other every day. So this one Saturday, I left the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. And at one point, I just called my wife on FaceTime just to see how they're doing and say good morning and everything. And my son hears my voice. And like you mentioned it broke my heart because as soon as he heard my voice, I heard my son ask, Daddy, 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 where are you?
that. Uh-huh.
And I was 2 hours away and had to tell him over the phone, like, hey, buddy, I'm at work. Come home, Daddy. Come home. And he's like, my wife said he was looking for me all morning around the house. Like I didn't wake him up. I didn't shake him and say, hey, dude, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Daddy's gotta go. I love you. Bye.
Yeah.
I kissed him on the forehead. I left, but I didn't wake him up. So when he woke up and I wasn't there, it threw him for a loop. And again, the payoff, I guess, to that, and you mentioned it too, as heartbreaking as it is sometimes to see your kids as you walk out the door, when they see you come back home and just that pure excitement on their face is like chef's kiss, man. I don't know. It
Yeah,
was
no,
awesome.
it is awesome for sure. There's not a feeling like that that I know of that when you get home, like a lot of times if my kids see me pull up or if they're outside playing, they'll run over to the truck and greet me, or you walk in the door and they're like, Daddy's home. I mean, that's an amazing feeling. It really is. As bad, like you said, as bad as it sucks leaving and being gone, coming home and getting that, it's just like I said, I feel for those dads that don't get that like every day.
Yeah. And again, shout out to those dads that are doing that, you've got to provide somehow. I saw a video that said something along the lines of a dad is always in a struggle. If they're at work trying to provide, they lose the family time. If they've got the family time, odds are they're not making the money to support the family. So we've as dads got to make that choice or that sacrifice every day. Not saying moms don't, they got their own podcast, but dads, we do that. Like we have to decide, like, do I want to take a day off? If I take a day off and he's not sick and I'm not sick or my wife's not sick or we don't have a doctor's appointment, that's me losing a chunk of money for the day. Like, do I
Not
take
and
that
not only
L?
that, but it's you losing an opportunity because you know those days are going to come when y'all are going to be sick and you're going to need that time versus taking it now so y'all could go do something fun. That'd be awesome. But what happens, it's even compounded worse whenever you need that time and somebody's sick or some emergency come up and you can't take it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a balance that we go through as dads, like all the time. And I'm blessed in a sense because again, if I'm stressed, I don't think I'm stressed. I know I probably am. I just don't feel it, I guess, as much as other people do, or hide it very well. I don't know, but I know it. It has to be a struggle for a number of dads out there. Just what do I do now? Like, what's the next thing I got to do? What's my breaking point? And the thing is, I think society's got it. We got it in our heads. We can't have breaking points. We don't want to be seen as that. We can't be that in our households. And if you're going through that, if you're listening to us, leave a comment, shout out, let us know kind of what you're going through, and maybe you can talk to you about it and figure out what's going on. We can't fix it. I'm not claiming that, but I think just in this conversation right here, me and Charlie are having, it's opened my mind up to some things I've never even considered, especially with my own brother
Yeah.
and how
It's
his
tough
relation
to get out
works
of
with
your own
his
situation.
family. Yeah,
Everybody looks at it like, and everybody thinks their situation is more complicated or harder than everybody else's because that's your reality. You live every day. That's what affects you. And being able to put yourself in some other people's shoes. I'd love to do an episode one time to where we bring on like some different work schedule dads, and just kind of see how they manage it and what they do. I mean, and we know a lot of this too. A good wife, a good partner is going to make that 100 times easier, and a bad one's going to make it 100 times harder. I mean, I have an awesome wife. I mean,
yeah,
like I said, she homeschools them,
yeah, and
she does everything, and there's still like comments that she'll make with the kids. She doesn't mean anything by it. She's just saying it. And I mean, stuff like that will cut you, to where it's like, oh, you didn't want to spend time with your family today. Just jokingly mentioning that, but that that's something she's thought about. That's something the kids have thought about. And it's like, no, I'll do, but I've got to go. I've got this and this and this I've got to go take care of. And like I said, it's rough. I mean, it really does hurt. So I can
yeah.
only imagine people that have it worse than I do. But, and I mean, that's just one aspect. Think about
So,
your feelings of it. But how else has
mhm,
your life changed with having the kid? Okay, so your morning routine completely changed. Now, like I said, you've got to get him up, get him to daycare. Uh, a big thing for us was trips. You get ready to take a trip, man. You got to have car seats, you got to have diaper bags, you got to plan stops, you got to try to make them get as far as you can while they're sleeping because they're only going to make it so long in the car before you're going to have to get them out. And then once you get them potty trained, now it's every 10 miles, somebody else has to go pee, and they didn't have to pee when you just stopped at the store to take one in. Now somebody else has to go. And well, why didn't you go? Well, I didn't need to then, but I do now. And it just complicates your life in a good way, but it complicates it. It just does. I mean,
I have to ask this question: have you ever watched the TV show called Bluey?
Bluey?
Bluey.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
on Disney. It's
Yeah.
on
No, I
Disney
have.
Plus. You the little
Like
dogs.
they're like
Yeah.
Australian dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They touch on like every single thing we've just talked about. I'm just a shameless plug. I'm not affiliated with Disney, Disney Plus, none of that.
There's a lot of
Australian
things I don't
people,
like
none of
about
that.
Disney. Hold on. A lot of things I don't like about Disney. Some of those dads out there, Disney has some crazy stuff in some of their movies. But
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Bluey is a good
But
cartoon. And
Bluey is it. Like,
by the way, Bluey has a sister, and it took me about probably 10 to 15 episodes before I realized that that wasn't that Bluey was a girl, first of all.
same, same,
Yeah, yeah.
same. I'm like, my son loves this show. I love this show. Wait, Bluey's a girl? And her sisters, and she's got a sister? They're girl? What?
Yeah,
I
it was
can't
some
watch
kind of
this now. No,
stereotype with the name Bluey, and I don't know what it was, but yeah, that's what I saw. Maybe because I'm coming at it from a dad with the son, and that's just how what I wanted to see. But yeah, but no, it definitely. It's like, wait a minute, no, that's what it is. But yeah, they do. They go on there and they have episodes with him wrestling around with them, and they always want to do fun stuff, and he
yeah.
always gets in
Well,
predicaments with them. Yeah.
well, I was going with the episode about the restroom potty breaks on the road trip, but yeah, we haven't had too many road trips with our son. He's still in diapers, but he does fairly good in the car. Um, our thing though is if he has to have a tablet or something to watch, again, we are those parents. We let them watch screens. If you're one of those, my kids don't watch screens. More power to you. Us uncivilized people, we gotta have screens for our kids. We got him a kid fire tablet just to put little videos and stuff on. He loses his mind with the tablet. So that's a no-go. If he has a phone and he's watching videos, it's fine. You play songs in the car, he's good. A tablet for some reason, and he loses his mind. He gets out of all the apps, he gets lost in the settings. He turned the thing off and rebooted it. You gotta ask for like I don't know what he's doing in the back seat with it. So tablets are no good. Bathroom changes, potty breaks and stuff. He's still in diapers. We're still trying to potty train, not really, but as a boy, it's gonna take a while. Road trips aren't that bad. Planning for road trips and getting to the destination and carrying all the stuff. I thought my wife packed. Again, I'm not hating on my wife at all. We all dudes, all dads, we know our spouses, girlfriends, baby mamas, whatever. We as dudes can pack light, they pack heavy. Imagine packing heavy twice for your wife or girlfriend and then your kid. That's what it's like. And your wife's holding your baby going up 4 flights of stairs or to the elevator, and you've got your luggage, their toys, their diaper bag, and all this, your cooler, and you're just bogged down with everything. And your wife's like, "Can you hurry?" And your son's like, "Drink, drink." Like
Uh-huh.
that's the struggle. So like we went to Galveston this summer, and that was our struggle. Like I was just carrying everything, and of course, as a dad, we're like, we can do it all in one trip because I wasn't about to go. I was on the third floor. I wasn't about to go back to the elevator,
Back and
down
forth.
the elevator,
Yeah.
go through the steps. Nope. Getting all in one trip. My hands hated me for it, but I had to. That's the kind of stuff that's changed.
Yeah. No, it definitely. We took a trip one time, right after we had my little girl. It was about a 4 hour trip down to San Antonio, and we got about 30 minutes outside of San Antonio, and my daughter puked all over my back seat, everywhere. I mean, she was still on a bottle. So I mean, this was formula and whatever else. And I mean, it went everywhere. It smelled so bad. There's no way to describe it. We had to pull over at a gas station, take the car seat out, go inside, buy trash bags, paper towels. We had baby wipes with us, but I mean, everything we could possibly get to try to clean this up because it's just, it's, I don't know. The dads on here that's been through like formula and breast milk, throw up and vomit. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that all in the truck. So the truck stinks. She's not feeling good. My wife, once you deal with all this, I mean, it's everything you can do not to puke while you're trying to help clean it up. I get all these trash bags, put everything in there. I take this new, and it's probably the most expensive car seat we've ever bought. Was the first one we had, of course. We had it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I take a giant trash bag, put the whole thing in there, and my wife holds my little girl in the back seat until we can get to Walmart and just buy a new car seat. That's it. There is no cleaning it up. There is no nothing. We brought it home and threw it in the dumpster. There was no way around it.
Wow.
Done. It was over. But that that was a good introduction to like traveling as a father right there, because there's no way to prepare yourself for that, and you know that it's
And
not
I've
your
watched,
fault. I mean,
yeah,
but
you've watched all the movies and all the TV shows, and the dad's driving, and mom's having to deal with the kids in the back seat, and you're just like, "I'll turn this car around." Yeah, and you're thinking, no one would ever say that. I've got again, my son's two. He's not that bad. It's just him. I've had those moments driving, like I will turn this car around and cancel $1,000 reservation and ruin
yep.
a summer vacation just to get back into my house and not have to deal with this. It's traffic for me. Traffic does that to me. Like
Traffic's your
I
trigger.
can't. Traffic's my trigger now. Before I could deal with it, but now I'm like, I got a kid in the back. I've heard Baby Shark 50 times. I can't do this. We got to go.
Yeah,
We
it
got
just
to
seems
go.
like your bandwidth gets shrunk because you've added the child thing in there. So all the things that go with them, I I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I can't concentrate as good as I used to be able to. I don't know, it's a whole thing, man. I really don't know what it is. I'll blame
Yeah.
it on kids.
My patience for a lot of things have greatly increased, and my patience for some things has also greatly decreased.
Right?
And it's not his fault. He doesn't know. I don't ever try to get on to him for it. I think my wife sometimes gets more of it than he does. Sorry, babe, but like you have those moments where you're just like, I want to be angry at this situation, but I can't be angry. And you say it, I can't be angry at my kid, but I want to be angry at something.
Yeah.
And you just sit in that frustration and like you don't know what to do with it. And again, sometimes, spouses get the worst of it. Sometimes you just bury it deep, 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 deep down. And then when you're by yourself, I don't know where you are. You're like, oh. I mean, again, that's just one of those things. I don't know how
Hey,
everybody does it, but
yeah, no, that's bad. But what generally happens is you chase one of those moments to where you're completely at your wits' end and you don't know how to handle it. And you know something bad's going to happen if it keeps going like it is. And then they'll turn around and do like the cutest thing or say, I love you, daddy, or something like that. And see, it makes it all go away. I think God had a plan whenever he designed them. That's just the way it works. Man. It's kind of like that
yeah,
reset button where it's like, yeah, that wasn't that bad. Because I struggled a long time, and I still do to some extent, being kind of uptight with them because it's always no, y'all do this, and y'all aren't going to run around when we're at the store. Y'all aren't going to be loud. Y'all aren't going to, all these different things that I try
mm-hmm.
to do. And I've tried to loosen up on that as they got a little older because it's like, okay, let's kind of stay over here as a group. Let's not affect other people and let's just get through this trip and try to have a little bit of fun because it sucks being the dad that's always like, y'all quit, stop, to where there's no way they're enjoying themselves or having any fun with you.
Yeah, I've caught myself a few times, and I've got to tell myself exactly that. He's two. He's the kid. Quit trying to pit adult expectations on a kid who doesn't know what expectations even are in that setting. He could learn to know what those expectations are in those settings,
Yeah, but the
but he's
problem
not
is
there
we have
yet.
to teach them. That's on us. We have to teach
Yeah,
them the expectations,
yeah,
and they're
and
not.
maybe by the time they're 18, they'll figure it out.
I doubt it. We'll be saying,
Maybe by
"Oh,
they're
they're just
18, we'll figure it
18.
out.
They're just 18." I mean, they'll have to be better. But
So, but yeah, you're talking about lifestyle changes, and like, yeah, a lot of things have changed. Like just that little. I learned this from you too. This is something I learned from Charlie. Uh, you're always, no matter how hard you try, no matter how well you plan, no matter what all you do beforehand, you're still going to be 15 minutes late out the door.
yeah, oh yeah. No, I used to be early everywhere I went. I mean, that
Yeah.
my parents are like that. I was an only child growing up, so uh, I don't know how, but that was always it. I mean, pretty much my mom, and it's more my mom than my dad, but my mom for sure. If you wasn't 10 or 15 minutes early, you're late. That was just the way it was, and all
Now
that
just expect,
straight out the window. Yeah, that is no longer the
yeah,
norm.
now just expect me to be late.
Yeah, yeah. I
If
mean,
I
y'all
show
go
up,
ahead,
I may
do what
call
you need to
you.
do. Yeah, I'll shoot you a text to let you know. Hey,
Yeah, I may call you.
we're leaving the house. I know everything started 10 minutes ago. We're leaving the house. We're on our way. We'll get there. If y'all need to eat without us, great. If y'all want to start watching a movie, we'll come in the middle of it and watch it with you. Whatever. We're just not going to get there on time. And I
Yeah,
know the
just
transition.
expect it and just know you forgot something.
Yeah, yeah. And when you
Yeah,
get there,
you're going to
somebody's,
be 15 minutes late and you're going to forget something.
and more than likely, you and your wife are going to be upset with each other by the time you show up. Because frustrations
Like
of
this
getting
morning.
everything ready. Yeah, I mean, it's just happening.
Yeah, this morning, for example. Yeah, this morning my son getting ready for daycare. He had a cookie and he wanted some juice. So he got his juice and he wanted to put his cookie down. We said, "You want your cookie?" We said, he says no. He clearly says no.
Uh-huh.
We put the cookie down. We're walking out the door. He says, "No, wait, cookie. You said you didn't want your cookie. I want the cookie." So we go back to get the cookie. And then we're at the door and we're locking the door and we're walking to the truck. And I look at my wife and I go, "We forgot his bag."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Ugh, gotta go back to the door, unlock it, go back in." Like it's always that. Thankfully, we weren't in the car, but that has happened before. You get all this stuff, you're gonna be running late. You're always on time. When I looked at the clock, it was 7:10. When we walked out the house and got in the truck, it was 7:25. I don't know where that 15 minutes went.
Oh no,
I
I
literally don't know
100%.
where it went.
I
So
expect to
it
make at
happens.
least one trip back into the house when we get ready to go for something. Either they brought something in the car they shouldn't have that needed to stay at home, or there's something, whether it's a jacket, shoes. I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if my kids don't go to the car without pants on sometimes. And it's like, no, you got to have pants. But I don't want you getting out. You go buckle. You go get set in the car seat. You get buckled up. I'll go get it and bring it out to you. It's just easier. Get back there because I don't want to have this argument.
Yeah.
Because see,
Yeah.
you
And
haven't had
sometimes I like it. My
experience
wife
this.
and I do it.
I got
Yeah,
three.
my wife
So
and I do it. Yeah, I know.
location
You
when
got,
they
yeah,
get
you're,
in, it's a thing as far as,
yeah, I
oh,
don't,
such and such sitting in that seat. I wanted to sit over here. No, well, how come I always have to sit up here? It's so you have to deal with that every time. It's like, no, get in a seat, buckle up. I don't care. I just want to go.
well, we got a thing now. Yeah, he just does his thing in the seat. But yeah, you having three, I can only imagine it only makes everything I just said three times as bad or three times as difficult. So if you got three, it's bad enough. I want to know those parents with like five, six kids. Because there's some out there. I know a family that has like some of them are grown now, 16 kids. They
Woo.
don't have a TV show on TLC. So I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, a lot of
So
times they say that the older ones will help with the younger ones. So I mean,
yeah, but
well,
I
I
don't
think
know
we're
what that
gonna have
is.
to
But yeah.
wrap up what we got. Our time limit's expiring here. So, but
Okay.
all right. Any final thoughts? That's it for me, man. It's a whole different game out here for us dads. That's it.
Yeah, because that's all it is. Fathericity. My son's running around the house, so that tells me it's time to go anyway. Till next time.
See y'all next week.